Good morning and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's introductory training, How to Do Business with the Government. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator. And today I'm joined by our fantastic procurement specialist, Nancy R. Pidgeon. But before I pass it off to her for the real bulk of this presentation, I do want to let you know a little bit about Norcal APEX Accelerator and how the APEX Accelerator program can help you with government contracting. So, the APEX Accelerator program is a nationwide, federally mandated program that establishes centers just like ours to help locations throughout the US and to assist those businesses within that service area with government contracting. From anything to your first SAM registration to the renewals afterwards, and even contract management and compliance after you win your first government contract. With over 96 APEX accelerators nationwide, even if you're not within California, or maybe not within our northern coastal California counties that we can help, there is absolutely an APEX accelerator near you that can help you with government contracting at absolutely no cost. Because this is a federally mandated program, we are mandated to offer our resources, our training, and our education at no cost to the businesses within our service area. It's an absolute boon to local businesses looking to get into government contracting. But what kind of assistance does that really mean? Well, at Norcal APEX Accelerator, we're able to offer our assistance to those 15 northern coastal California counties, and we offer our assistance through three main pillars. Our one-on-one counseling, where you sign up with us as a client, as long as you're within our service area, and you get paired with a procurement specialist, just like Nancy or one of our many other fantastic procurement specialists on staff. And you are able to set appointments with them as needed to sit down and go over any hiccups or hurdles you may be experiencing with government contracting. Maybe your SAM renewal or SAM registration isn't going well and you can't get past like this one page and you can't really understand why. Or maybe you're a little further than that and you're looking at solicitations and bids, but you're not quite able to read them. There's just so much jargon. That's where one-on-one counseling really comes in to help. This counselor that you are paired with can sit down with you and walk you through step by step how to do government contracting, how to fill out these registrations, how to read solicitations. And it's all one-on-one, so you get very personalized help. And another pillar, which is complementary to our one-on-one counseling, is our custom bid matching program. Now, our custom bid matching software is something that our program pays and is able to offer to all of our clients at absolutely no cost. And what it does is it allows you to sit down with your counselor and decide what keywords you are looking for when looking at solicitations and opportunities. And that can be anything from your industry keywords to maybe you can only service a certain location to maybe you only want to target federal agencies or state agencies, or maybe you just want to stay local. Once you define and build out these keywords in your account, this software will scrape local, state, and federal procurement sites depending on your keywords and essentially email you opportunities that are relevant to you based on those keywords you set down. And that can take so much time out of finding these opportunities because there are so many websites and so many different places to find these solicitations. But we can help you get some directly to your inbox. And the third pillar is one you're actually taking advantage of right now. We put on a ton of webinars and trainings throughout the entire year ranging from an introductory topic like we're going over today to maybe you're looking for mentor protege help. We actually did an SBA mentor protege overview earlier this week and plan to do a Department of Defense MPP overview. Or maybe you're looking for help with building out your capability statements. We do capability statement webinars every once in a while, and we keep the recordings on our website, which is another resource you can absolutely take advantage of. We have links to outside resources and certification information pages, and even links to those solicitations, especially at the state and local level. And the best part is you don't have to be within our service area or even signed up with us as a client to take advantage of these resources and trainings. They're for you to use no matter where you are in your contracting journey or in the US. So if you haven't looked into signing up with your local APEX Accelerator, please do so. It's absolutely no cost and can only benefit you. And just to give you a little bit of a bulleted list of the breadth of things we do, we help with market research, marketing to government agencies, post-award support. We can help you connect primes. And if you're a subcontractor, we can help you connect to the primes. If you're primes, we can help you connect to a subcontractor. We really are your one-stop shop for government contracting assistance. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass this presentation off to Nancy for the real meat and potatoes.
There I am. Good morning, everyone. So happy to have you here to learn an introduction to government contracting. We're going to learn what is government contracting, in case you don't know, how to determine if selling the government is right for you, how to get started in government contracting, how to market to the government, where to find the bid opportunities, and then some steps for success. So what is government contracting? So if you think of the government as a very huge corporation, or maybe even a country within itself, all things are needed within that entity. So of course we have construction, we have janitorial, firefighting, office supplies. Of course we need food for all, military cafeterias and other places. We need dog food and maybe dog toys for our working dogs. We need moving services. And the last one there is our little goats that we had a great story about someone, the government wanted to hire some goats to knock down some weeds or tall brush. And so they wrote a purchase order to have the goats come out and do that for them. So there's a lot of things that the government can buy. So depending on your industry, we have like common industries. So these are things that have get a lot of contracts and are way up there in contracts and dollar amounts. So of course we have the public works and the construction. A lot of the money goes to construction, as you can imagine, keeping the infrastructure good, and of course building new buildings as the campuses grow. Professional services, so that would be any type of consulting or managerial experience, HR, those types of things. Like I said, office supplies, janitorial, we all know what those are. IT, so that could be software or it could be hardware. And medical suppliers, of course, for the VA and other health agencies within the government. Transportation logistics, fire suppression, and then of course defense. The really big draw there for defense is they have a huge budget. So less common industries we have is we can't help you if you're working in the cannabis field. Although it's legal in California, it's still federally illegal. So we wouldn't be able to help you with that. And then some other less common things are restaurants, bars, entertainment, well-being, holistic health, clothing, and luxury items. Those would all be considered personal purchases for whoever wants them. And so the government wouldn't buy those in any type of quantity. There may be some exceptions if they're renting out maybe a restaurant or a bar, not a bar, a restaurant or a conference space for some type of conference or learning event. Okay, and this is a sample. We have the Pelican State Prison, which is way, way, way up at the top of California, and very secluded location. And they have a lot of needs. And this is just to show all the things that they buy at the state prison up there. They do have a hard time getting these, just because, especially services or anything that has to be delivered, is hard for them because people don't want to bring the things up there because they will lose money for transportation and things like that. So if you feel like you could supply some of these to Pelican State and you wouldn't mind the travel or the staying up there, I guess, if you want to stay for services, you can let the the small business advocate for the prison system know that you can fulfill some of these. But this gives you a good idea of, the things that are bought in the government. So recipes for success. So are you ready for government contracting? So of course you have to have an established business, and we have the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, which is kind of our sister service here in NorCal. And they can help you with established business, help you establish that business plan that includes government contracting, so you can see if it can make sense in your business plan to go into government contracting. They can also help you with any financial needs. They're good at that. They're just really good about, business in general, getting you started, helping you understand what the structures are. Should I be an LLC, a corporation? So if you're still in that stage, or if you're already established but you have questions, sign up for the SBDC. The links in the slides will take you to find a SBDC, and then you can find one in your local area. But ours is NorCal SBDC. You should be financially stable. Getting into government contracting isn't easy. You should have the stability to, say if you're a supplier, send a supply and not be paid right away. You may not be paid for 30 days after delivery. So you have to be prepared for that. If it's a really high priced item and you absolutely can't survive with giving that out and then waiting 30 days, then you probably want to wait until you're a little more financially stable so that you can do that. The government doesn't want to bankrupt you, and they don't want to put you in a position to where you go bankrupt. So, and past performance is a really big thing in both state and federal contracting, and even local. They ask you for references and past performance. They usually want to see that you have done a similar job to what they're asking for, and with the same magnitude. So if you're looking at something that's $1 million and you've only worked maybe $10,000 jobs, you may not be ready for that. And if it's not the same magnitude, so it's not as big as what you've done before, they may question that. So try to build that past performance, and then try to stay within what's reasonable for you as a business, and then just let that grow. Contracting government takes a lot of time, so you have to build up. If you want to be in that, prime contractor at the top, it's going to take you a lot of time to do that. And then market research, of course, you want to find out, maybe even before establishing the business, if you're going to do government contracting, you'll definitely have to do it for your business plan. You want to do the market research to see if the government buys what you're selling, and how much of it do they buy. because that's going to have to be part of your business plan. If you're going to go into government, if you're going to include government contracting in your business plan, they're going to want to know what you expect to receive or what you expect to sell to them. So of all these on the list, probably market research is the really important one. Should probably be at the top, but so, and then an e-commerce capable website. We live in this modern age where everybody looks things up on the web. So you really need to have a nice commercial capable website. If you sell supplies, it would be good to, have a basket that they can purchase things, because they do. The state and the federal government both have purchase cards where they could just go in and purchase items and use their purchase card for that. So if you're just not just in service, but if you're in services, make it really show really what you can do to help the government. Show them how you can solve their problems. That's what they're really interested in. So yeah, if you need to get someone to develop that for you, make sure it's really good and looks really smart, and not under construction. Don't release your website if it's still under construction. Okay. Okay, so how to get started. Apply for our services, of course. This is after you've established a business, you have the stability, you want to go into government contracting, and you have the time, to build up in government contracting. You need to choose your NAICS and UNSPSC codes. So NAICS are federal and the UNSPSC codes are state of California. Those are the industry codes that describe what you do. So you're classified into these codes. They may not always fit, but you have to find the closest one, and we can help you do that. And then what you want to do is register and certify in Cal eProcure, and we can help you with that. It doesn't take that long. You just need to make sure you have all your documents. And then registering on SAM to get your UEI, which is a unique entity ID, and CAGE code. And CAGE code is about your location, where your business is. They research that to make sure you're a legitimate business before they give you the CAGE code. Once you're registered in SAM, they do have a dynamic small business search, and the contracting officers, and you can even go out and search, but the contracting officers search to one, find out what, if they're going to award you something, they want to find out what your certifications are, and if they're looking for someone to fulfill a requirement, they may go out and search by your NAICS and maybe a keyword to find a list, maybe someone who's in the local area because they need it, yesterday. So they want someone in the local area. So make sure once you register in SAM, you used to be able to go update your SBA profile for DSBS in SAM, but it no longer works. There's just a screen that says it no longer works. But so once you register in SAM, get with your APEX counselor for help in putting those things in there so you have a complete profile. Excuse me. And then one of the biggest things is creating a capability statement. So this is like a huge business card for your business. Gives tons of information in a small space, and a one-pager. You have to sum up your business, talk about your certifications, what you can do, any past performance. It all goes into this capability statement. And we use this. We used to use it a lot. I think they're getting back to doing them, but we used to use them for in-person events. They would have the government set up at tables, and you could walk around to the government agency that most suited you, and you could give them your capability statement and then do your little speech, your elevator pitch, and leave a lasting impression. The most important, that if you go to an in-person, the most important thing is not to start off that you are a woman-owned business, a minority-owned business. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for someone to solve their problems. So start out with what your business can do. They can, find out the other stuff later. it's not that important to them. They want to know how you can fix their jobs. Trust me, I used to go to those shows and talk to vendors. If you come and say we're a WSB, DVBE, you only have so long to talk to them because they usually have a line behind them. So tell them what your business can do first off. Even if you do one-on-ones online, don't start off with your certifications. It's good to have the certifications. It can give you a hand up, but they really want to know what you can do for them. And finally, for capability statements, we usually have you send those out like a generic capability statement. We do it for federal agencies, but it takes a little more digging to get those contacts. But for the state, they have a complete list of the state advocates, small business advocates. And so once you're registered in CalEPICure and certified, you can send your capability statement out to all of these small business specialists, and they'll review it and pass it on to whichever buyer they think might use you. So that's kind of like the 3 things for capability statements. So you'll have like a generic one and a tailored one. And again, make sure your website is government friendly. So as we talked about before, have a professional website done, but make sure you have a tab that talks about the government, like what you would, if you've worked for the government, what you've done for the government. If you want to work for the government, how you can help the government with things, and then always have a tab or a place to download your capability statement. And you can even just put your capability statement up on the website and then just have a link down below for them to download it if you don't have any past experience with the government. And again, of course, market research to identify your target agencies. That's, like I said, that's one of the most important things, is finding out who buys your stuff, and so you can target them. And again, you would send your capability statement to those agencies. Okay, so I talked a little about certification already. These will just give you a leg up on things. So the state of California has the small business, and it's also known as a SBE in certain circles. They may request an SBE, and then I have people saying, "What's an SBE? I only have an SB." They're the same thing. And then they have the small business for public works. If you're going to work on public buildings and things of that nature, you can get the SBPW. Now, if you get the SBPW, it includes the small business. So you would be a small business and a PW. And then if you're a disabled veteran, you can get the DVBE. And those are the 3 certifications that the state has. We can help you do those certifications. For California, you'll register as a vendor, and then we can walk you completely through the certification. We'll just ask you to gather some documents before we have the meeting. So for the federal, they have several. The small business and small disadvantaged business, those are self-certification. So when you register in SAM, based on the questions that you answer and your NAICS codes, it will determine if you're a small business and a small disadvantaged business. So nothing there for you to do, but just answer some questions. And they don't actually give you a certification. I've had people ask me all the time where their certification is. It's actually within your file in SAM. So if it's a contracting officer, they should be able to see that. Then we have the ones that you have to actually apply for. So we have the women-owned small business, the WSB, and then economically disadvantaged WSB. And then we have the veteran-owned small business, the VOSB or the SDVOSB, that's a service disabled veteran-owned small business. The VOSB is only recognized by the VA as a set-aside. The federal government only does the SDVOSB. So if you're service disabled or service-connected disability, you would want the SDVOSB if you're going to do federal contracts outside of the VA. We also have the HUB zone, or the historically underutilized business zone, and that is a zone that has been recognized as historically underutilized, and you can get a certification for that as long as you're your facility is within the hub zone, and 35% of your employees live in a hub zone. So there's two requirements there. A lot of our folks that live in the northern counties, their whole counties are hub zones. And so it's kind of easy for them. They're usually loggers, or they fight fires. So it's really easy for them to get a hub zone because it's the whole county. And it's usually just one or two people. So they meet the requirements easily. When you're in a populated area, and you have several employees, you'll just have to make sure that your employees live in the hub zone. So it's kind of a twofer there. And then the 8A Business Development Program, it's not a certification, it's a program to help small businesses. And really, this is for later in your business, maybe having some success with government contracting. You have to have the financials and everything like that in order to get into the program. And then you can only be in it for so many years, and you can only be in it one time. So I try to help people gauge when it's a good time for them to go into 8A, because you don't want to go in too early or too late. So that's something you definitely want to talk to your counselors about. And then we have the disadvantaged business enterprise, which it's under the federal, but it's actually, the certification actually comes from the state, and it's for for things that are, gosh, I lost my train of thought. It's for things done in California that are federally funded, such as the roadways, and it involves transportation. So it's roads and rail and airports. So if you want to get a DBE, you can do that if you're in those, industries that they use. They do have the set aside. So a prime contractor is required to use so many DBEs on a contract based on the value of the contract. So that's the reason for getting that one. And also the WSB, SDVUSB, and the hub zone, and the small business and small disadvantaged business, they all have set asides. So you'll see a solicitation that says set aside for small businesses, or set aside for woman-owned small business, or the VA will do set aside for VOSB, SDVOSB. So that's the reason for getting the certification, because it kind of eliminates some people you'll be up against. We're not advancing now. There we go. Okay. And so if you're just starting out, you've done your research, and you want to get started, one of the best things to do is to get involved in the local contracting. This can be city, county, school districts, transportation agencies. These all help you gain the past performance that you're going to need to get those larger contracts. The local agency usually use their own procurement system, and so there's no one place that you can go to find those local agencies. You're going to have to go to their sites and look up their procurements, what they have open solicitation. And we have a link for that. Yeah, it's at the bottom, NorCal's local agent procurement sites. You can go there and look for them. Some counties have local business preferences. So they have like San Francisco has a local business enterprise. Alameda has the SLEB, the small local emerging business. And then San Jose and Oakland have something similar, either a LBE or SLEB or something like that. So if you live in those counties, you would probably want to get those, because there may be some advantages for you to have those. Okay, now once you get done with the local and you want to get started in maybe some larger dollar government contracting, this is typically how it's going to look. You're going to work for a prime contractor usually. This is especially true in construction. If you're going to build your way up to being the prime contractor, you're usually going to sub under someone. And if it's a, if you do the drywall, if you do certain things, you may always be a subcontractor to a prime, because they usually include that in the whole solicitation for the prime. And then the prime's responsible for going out and getting the subcontractors and following the small business requirements for that contract. So this is kind of how you build your way up: local, state, county governments, and then you kind of move into being a prime contractor, and then, subcontractor, and then you move up to prime contractor. Okay, a little more about capability statement. I think I gave you everything when I first started talking about it. I forgot there was this slides, but so like I said, it's a one-page resume. So I call it like a big business card with a lot of information. Some people call it like a statement of qualifications, that type of thing. You can have multiple versions when you know what agency you're going to target. So you'll do some research on them and then target that agency by including things about the agency, what their requirements are in your capability statement. It's a one-pager, and we do have a template. So the template up in the left-hand corner, we have that available to you. And you can also go into our website and look at the capability statement section. And there's a video on capability statement. And I believe there is another document out there too, isn't there, Amanda, about how to put it together? Yeah, okay. And we can definitely help you with this. I help people all the time. Get them the template, they start putting things together, and then we kind of go back and forth several times to improve it. Make sure all the certifications are on there. Everything you do, make sure core competencies and differentiators are good. And just make sure it looks professional to send out. And again, a contracting ready website. So here's an example. We have Admiral's Experience, it looks like, the Admiral's Experience. And you can see right here, they have a tab for their government contracts. And what they've done is they put their capability statement here on the web page. And then when you go down below, you can actually, a client or an agency can actually download your capability statement and maybe keep it in their files, or download it and save it to a PDF in a folder on their computer to, maybe use later. Yeah, so easy navigable, past performance history of sales. You can expand a little on the website than what you do in your capability statement. So you only have a one page to put on your capability statement, so you can put a little more information on the actual website. And here's another example. I don't think this is the whole website, but what they've done is taking places that they work for and use their emblems, which makes it kind of pop. Instead of writing, I work for the U.S. Forest Service, they can see the emblem of the U.S. Forest Service, and they're like, oh, let me go see what they did for the U.S. Forest Service. So it's kind of nice to use these logos here. And again, they have a GSA contract, so they put that there, and then their NAICS codes. So so just consider what you're going to put on that website. Work with a professional to put that together, and we can always give advice as your counselor, how we think it looks. Okay, so now you're all set up marketing to the government, and again, a big part of that is that capability statement. But you want to develop a marketing plan, for targeting those agencies. So you should have done your market research by now. You should know who buys what you sell, and then you want to start hitting them with your capability statement. And the important thing about sending out the capability statement is you need to follow up. You can't just send it and forget it and say, well, nobody ever called me. People are busy, so just keep hitting on them, but don't overdo it too. So there's a fine line there. Just say, I sent you my capability statement, I didn't hear back from you. I was wondering if we could maybe chat a little bit about my capabilities and what I can do for you. You know, just things like that. Don't overdo it, like I said. And of course, you want to network and establish relationships. This is very, very important in government contracting. You need to get out there, like I said, attend expos, matchmaker conferences, go to these trainings and meet people online. Maybe you can join up and do a contract together. Talk to the small business specialist or advocates. Social media, have a good social media representation. You know, everything's done in social media these days, so make those. But I say, you know, the biggest thing is if you're in industry, so I'm just going to say construction because I know they have them. You know, they have their little places and counties where I forget what they're called. Anyways, it's the organization that gathers in that community for construction projects. So if you're in construction, make sure you become a member of those.
Builders Exchange.
Builders Exchange. Thank you, Amanda.
Of course.
Okay, my brain's not what it used to be. Okay, yeah. So Builders Exchange, there's a lot of those, probably in most counties, especially larger counties. Make sure you go to their meetings. Make sure you take your capability statement, your business card, you know, walk around, talk to everybody. Networking is the way to get in, and especially in construction. They got to know you. They got to know what you can do in order to get your leg up, get those subcontracts and things like that. Now, if you're in like a service, you know, you want to look and see where they gather. Maybe they, you know, have an annual conference you can go to. So just look for those things. But again, it's a lot of work, and you got to do a lot of work in marketing to get your name out there, and to get to know people, tell them what you can do for them, and set up those good lines of communication and networking. Okay, finding bid opportunities. Like I said, we have on the on our procurement page, local agency websites. So there's a list there, and then if you just want to Google something, you could say San Jose procurement, and it usually comes up right away. And they should have open solicitations on there. But a caveat is a lot of the local counties, they've gone to using like BidNet, BidPlanet, those types of things. So things that you have to pay in order to see the solicitation. So if you run into that, I would highly recommend, if on the website there's a point of contact, that you contact them and ask them for the solicitation. We can also help you find the solicitation. We have GovSpend, so sometimes they get posted on there where we can see them and get them for you and send them to you. But as I feel it, you know, they are a government, and they should have those made available to everybody, not just behind a pay. You shouldn't have to pay to see a solicitation. I'll get off my soapbox there. And then of course, prime contractor websites. If you're an industry, you should know who your prime contractors are. If you don't know, we can look them up for you during market research, and you can call to get to know them. They usually have a small business office as well. California has a lot of events that you can go to, a lot of in-person ones, where they bring their small business advocates to the meeting and you can talk to them. Of course, the SAM contracting opportunities can be a little hard to search. So if you're working with a counselor, ask them how you search on it. Oh, there's Builders Exchange. One slide too late. And then, of course, we have our own bid match service that Amanda told you about earlier. So we'll put in your keywords. It will go search everything for it, and that includes SAM opportunities, which makes it easier for you to see those instead of having to search for them. And again, we do that for free. So even if you just want that, you can sign up and we could do that for you. like Amanda was saying, there's no commitments. If you just want help with one thing, we can help you with that. SAM registration, Cali Procure. There's no time commitment. We don't make you walk through every step to government contracting. It's totally tailored to what you need. Okay. So in summary, it looks like I have a good time for questions. So 10 steps to success. Of course, the very first one is determine if you're ready for government contract. That includes market research, making that business plan that includes government contracting. So work with your SBDC on those. Then you want to apply for our services. You know, if you don't get anything else out of this briefing, just remember to sign up for our services, and we can meet and talk about what your needs are. That's like my favorite thing to do. I like meeting with new clients, seeing where they are and seeing where we can go. So please sign up. Complete the Getting Started checklist, which is on our website. It talks about, are you ready? Here's some things you do, kind of like our slides here today, but you know, a little like a checklist that you can do. And then get certified. And of course, we can help you with that. Create your capability statement. And of course, the website. The next important thing, network, build relationships, and market your business. Those are the three things that you have to do when you're getting into government contracting. Locate those bid opportunities, whether on your own or through our bid matching service. And then at the end, of course, if you fail, you just have to keep trying. Like I said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon in government contracting. So you have to be in for the long haul. And of course, win contracts down the line. And like I said, the most important thing you're going to get out of this is to sign up for our services. Here's our great group of counselors here. You can read their bios, and maybe there's one you want to work with for your particular needs. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Amanda. I guess I'll do the slides for you, huh?
Yeah, that's perfect. And thank you so much for that fantastic presentation, Nancy. We can't always know when technological troubles are going to come, but
yes,
we did the best
so
we can.
I'm sorry, everyone. At least I got back on quickly. So
absolutely, like I was fully prepared. Like, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I was like, oh well, Amanda can do it. She attends all of them.
Yeah. But before we do go into questions, and this is the last call for questions, if you do have any, please put them into the Q&A. I want to let you guys know about some of our other awesome events that are coming up just this month. Next Tuesday, we're going to be meeting with Nancy yet again to go over a little bit of a higher level topic, which is government-led innovation programs. And I'm super excited for that one. That's actually brand new content to our program that Nancy has been developing, and I'm so excited to see it. And then we're also meeting with a representative from the California High-Speed Rail Authority to find out what kind of programs you can get involved in and what projects they're going to be soliciting for that are coming up. And then we'll also be going over the Department of Defense Mentor Protege program, which is very big, if a little bit more advanced. And then we have an exciting presentation with the California DGS Office of Small Business and DVBE Services. I always have to slow myself down on those acronyms. And it's going to be their second presentation about what to do once you have your certifications, called I'm Certified, Now What? So if you are interested in any of those trainings or would like to just keep up to date with our trainings, again, you can attend any or all of them, whether you're in our service area or not. You can do so at the link I am dropping in chat here. And with that, we'll go into the questions.
Just have a few today.
Yeah. Did you want me to read them off to you, Nancy?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll start from the top. Cameron was wondering if you could share any advice, tips, or experience on how to proactively market or sell to the government or agencies that may not have a bid out for your product or service. So he's looking for advice on how to
Yeah.
tell them they need the service that he's got.
Yeah. And we don't go into that in this slide, but all agencies, I'm not talking California, I'm talking federal. They have a forecast of opportunities. It has to be published by the end of September, going into the next fiscal year. So everything that they have programmed for the year, they will put out there so that you have a chance to look at it. It will tell you what quarter they're expecting the solicitation. It'll give you a point of contact. I recommend you contact the point of contact and ask him, is this still on to be solicited in the fourth quarter? And you can always slide your capability statement in there too, if you want. But that's a good way to find those. With the state of California, they don't really do that. You may want to talk to the small business advocates and see if that agency has anything like that, or if they know what they're going to be bidding on. Again, it's kind of a networking thing and who you know type thing.
Yeah, so making those connections is going to be critical. Fantastic. And then someone was wondering, where would you suggest they find a list of prime vendors, or how would they connect with prime vendors to offer IT consultants?
Yeah. So there are some searches we can do. If you want to find out on your own, I would say to go to USA Spend and put the NAICS codes in there and ask for contractors, and then you can see which ones are large that probably do subcontracting. You can find them there. And like I said, we have other things that we pay for, GovSpend and FedMine, and we can do a search on there that shows which contracts have been subcontracted and who they've been subcontracted to. So you'd get the prime and the other subcontractees, and you can always reach out to the prime and say, I'd like to, get into work for you, and then to set up that meeting if they're receptive to that.
Absolutely.
So those kind of the two ways you go about it.
And if I can also add one, because I was made aware, and we'll actually be joining the local Caltrans district on an event that is specifically Meet the Primes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's across the nation standard, but I know California's transportation district will very often hold Meet the Primes events to help facilitate these connections.
Yeah. And what's good about Caltrans is when you go and look at their expected projects that are coming up, it'll tell you who has taken out or who has downloaded the plans or whatever. That kind of gives you an idea who the prime contractor is, and then they have ads for primes and ads for subs, so that you can advertise you're interested in it, and the prime can say, this is what I need, those types of things.
Absolutely. And we just have two more questions left. One is about specific certifications. Do you know if we can help with JCP/NIST SPURS certifications?
Yeah, that's a CMMC, Amanda.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, so I just wanted to make sure, because I know we've been going back and forth on what is SBIR, STTR.
I mean, I know it has all kinds of names, but
yeah,
the NIST is the regulation for CMMC, and SPURS is where they put their report in. And we can definitely help you with that.
Yeah, we actually have a counselor who.
We do it all the time. But if you want, look up Project Spectrum.
They are a very good one, as well as Tech Futures. They help with that as well, correct?
No, Tech Futures is for SBIR, STTR.
Oh, okay. And see, that's why I don't do these presentations myself. I have experience, but not an expert by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the JCP probably threw you off there.
And then for our final question, which is a huge one that comes up, if you're a subcontractor under a prime contractor and the prime contractor doesn't actually let you help on the project, Like what is kind of going on there and how can they make that a better situation?
Yeah. So sometimes they don't get the job. So they're not going to give you a subcontract. But I would, if you're a subcontractor, get something in writing that if they get the contract, that they're going to use you. Um, I would ask for something like that. But the primes are in charge of their subcontractors, so there's nothing really the government can do to kind of help you out and say, hey, you said they were going to be the subcontractor. The primes are in charge of their subcontractors, and the government usually doesn't get involved in the subcontracting unless it's a labor issue. If they're not paying you what they're supposed to be paying you, then we get the labor department involved. But usually we stay away from telling the primes how to manage their subcontractors, unless it's an egregious, thing that falls under the law.
And I think the biggest one that I've kind of heard brought up is when they subcontract with you specifically to say, like, you're meeting your DBE goal or your GVBE goal. But there's
Yeah,
regulations that they actually have to perform the work for that to be
yeah,
counted, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, they have to put the percent that the subcontractor is going to work, and they will check that they're meeting their goal. If
So
they
yeah,
have a progress meeting or something every once in a while, um, they may ask, okay, who are your subs, or give us the payrolls for your sub. If it's a payroll type thing, they may ask for the payrolls for your subs. Those types of things. I mean, I don't want to say they don't always get involved, but sometimes they have to know if you're meeting your goal on that.
absolutely. And I do
Mm,
see, Jessica, you gave us a bit more detail,
yeah,
very much a situation by situation base. And this would be a great thing to discuss over one-on-one counseling. This is the kind of situation
yeah,
that you would kind of want to schedule a meeting to almost debrief from with your counselor.
yeah, yeah. I see your set, the information you gave us. If this comes down to what your subcontract says.
Yeah,
You have to read your subcontract. What does it say? Does it say that they can terminate you without cause? Um, or yeah, again, if you get a counselor and let them read that subcontract and understand, you know, what your options are. Um, so because
absolutely.
the primes are in charge, and if they wrote that in there and you missed it, then you know but it's bad that they told you they lost a job and then they kept working it. So, that's an ethical thing. I can't help you with that. So,
Yeah, unfortunately. But with
unfortunately.
that, that is all of our questions. Thank you so much, Nancy, for answering all of these
Okay.
awesome questions.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the break in the flow there, and hope you have a good day. Hope you sign up. Go sign up right now. I look forward to,
Absolutely.
I look forward to working with you.
Of course. And as you guys exit the webinar, I do want to let you know you'll be redirected to our feedback survey. We highly value any and all feedback that we get on our events because we truly do these events to help you. So if we can be helping you with different topics or in a better way, or if we're doing a gold star job, we would love to know. So any time that you can take out of your day to fill out that brief survey would be greatly appreciated. And with that, thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.